All right, you guys, welcome back. Well, you guys may have noticed the absence of videos recently from all the Bingham family.
Last week, our world stopped. This might be the hardest video we've ever had to put out.
You may have seen already through like social media, but my sweet dad passed. He passed away last week, unexpectedly, the day before Thanksgiving. And it's now been a week. The funeral was yesterday. We've had a chance to kind of process the information and been again quiet on social media for a purpose, and we appreciate you guys respecting our privacy, things like that. But it's been a week to kind of process what had happened. Obviously mixed emotions, but I would say that the most overwhelming emotion for me has been gratitude. Gratitude for an amazing dad. He was everything I ever could have asked for in a dad. As Sean actually put it in his funeral speech, we all spoke. He was the Michael Jordan of dads. Yeah, I'm just grateful for the time I got. He was the type of dad that, he loved everyone. You guys probably saw that in the many of videos you saw him on all the various kind of family channels.
Family was everything for him.
Yeah. But YouTube for us is, you've always wanted to be real. Obviously, certain parts of our life we just, don't share. But anytime my dad was on camera, that was like really him. He was just always happy, and he just always loved everyone. It's like genuinely. You met Doug Bingham, and you just knew, he was a good man and a kind man.
He always left you better than he found you.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, he really did.
And he meant it. He was so sincere and genuine. We talked with so many people at the funeral about how people always talk about the good things when someone dies, but that everything that everyone said was so true.
Yeah.
It described him perfectly.
Yeah.
We weren't just trying to see the good, it was truly who he was.
Yeah, and I think that's where, again, that sense of gratitude comes in, is he was perfect in my eyes. Anyway, so it's been hard, of course, and, we wanted to put this video out there so, you could understand kind of why we've been absent, and it did make a ton of sense to not address it. And it's been hard, with the funeral just being yesterday. It's interesting, today has actually seemingly been a little bit harder than other days. Because I think a lot of that funeral preparation, everything like that, once it's all kind of over, you have a moment now to kind of think and reflect, because you're not as busy, I suppose.
Just kind of feels like our world's standing still.
Yeah, well, not so much that for me, as much as I don't want it to move forward. And I know it has to. I mean, the funeral was absolutely beautiful. It was a wonderful tribute to my dad. We're members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and so we have a deep, deep belief that there is a life after death. And, being that we are Christians, we believe deeply in Jesus Christ. I had mentioned this in kind of my part of the funeral that, my dad lived a life. He wanted to be Christ-like. In my opinion, he came pretty close to mastering that after, 73 years. And I'm grateful for that, because he left an awesome legacy, a wonderful example for us to follow. Even though he's gone physically, I actually really look forward to those more spiritual moments I can have with him. Someone had mentioned, he can be kind of a guardian angel. In challenging moments, specifically to Landon, it's kind of fitting, I think. Landon's middle name is Douglas.
Very special person in Landon's life.
Yeah, in fact, you guys saw the videos. The last, I guess, real vlog we put out was just Landon and my dad, which was pretty cute.
We asked the kids to video a little bit when they were with Grandma and Papa 2 weekends ago, and for some reason, Papa took it upon himself to narrate all the things that they were doing.
He's so funny too. His humor.
He's hilarious.
It's so funny.
But it's turned into the most priceless gift.
Yeah. Yep.
For our family.
In
to
fact,
have those memories.
Just being real, there's sometimes where, turning on the camera can be kind of annoying. I look back and I'm just grateful for the video archives we have of Dad. But like the Lake Powell, when we took my parents to Lake Powell, and my dad's massive blue life jacket. Oh man. Just quickly, and I won't give the whole story, but this actually started happening almost 10 days ago. We were in Las Vegas on a couples trip. Michelle was in Iceland. Jared, as you know, lives in Florida. Sean was in Panama. Brandon was here. But my parents were here taking care of the kids, as you saw on our channel. Anyway, long story short, my dad didn't feel well coming out of church. My mom noticed, some droopiness in his face, and she immediately recognized that maybe he was having a stroke. So anyway, they took him off to the hospital. I was very aware of the situation, and we were already coming home. We were pretty much at the airport. Anyway, when I landed, I caught an Uber to the hospital. And when I got to the hospial, my dad was just coming out of a surgery that was a successful surgery. And
it was a miraculous surgery.
Yeah, it was. It was a miracle, I think. I got a tender moment with him where he was just kind of, coming awake, and told him I loved him. And he was my best friend. He immediately, reached over and grabbed my hand, and he did that all the time. It was weird. His expression of love was oftentimes just, putting his hand on your knee or grabbing your hand, and he was just a loving guy. And I thought, man, in this moment of trial for him, he's sitting there comforting me. It should be the other way around.
That's who he was.
Yeah, I reached over and grabbed my hand, and I obviously, he was conscious to a certain extent. Yeah, he could hear us, but when I said that, and he reached over and grabbed my hand, I just knew that he was aware. And then
that evening at the hospital, our whole family was there, and we're really grateful.
Yeah, I was really grateful they, with kids got to see. But to be honest with you, we didn't think of those were the last moments.
We didn't.
Yeah, I left the hospital that evening, just, planning to come back early in the morning and just kind of see how he was doing, because he was recovering.
So quickly and so well.
Yeah, and sadly another stroke happened in the early mornings of Monday morning. That ultimately would be the last time he woke up. And big thank you to the doctors and the nurses that took really good care of him. He hung on until the last sibling could get there, and guys, they were spread out. 4,000 miles away, some of them, and not easy to get home quickly on a whim. And everyone scrambled as fast as they could to get home. We're just grateful that they all got home in time to just be with him for a bit.
He hung on. He waited.
Yeah, he really did. He hung on until the last one got there.
It felt very fitting that he was surrounded by his family, because they were his whole world.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, so he passed away Wednesday afternoon last week. And because of the holidays, things like that, we were able to have the viewing and funeral Monday, Tuesday of this week.
It's impossible to describe the loss that we feel, but it's even more impossible to try to describe the incredible man that he was. He was more than a father-in-law to me. He always treated me like a daughter. And I think if I described to you the last 20 interactions I had with him, it would describe him perfectly. He always left you better than he found you.
I always want to know how you're doing. Sean made a really cool, funny comment in his talk about how my dad loved the spotlight, but not being in it, he loved shining it on people.
He was the champion of all champions.
Yeah, the spotlight operator, as he called him, which is so true.
So accurate.
Yeah.
He always saw you. In a room full of people, he just saw you. I can think of so many hard moments as a mom, or, just our life in Holland, as you might call it, where he was so sensitive to it. I remember walking down the streets of New York City just crying on his shoulder, because that's the kind of guy he was. Yeah. Mindy would say these exact same words, but he would find us in some of our hardest moments as a mom, and he'd walk up and he would just say, "You're such a good mom."
He would. Yep. He'd often leave us voicemails and tell how much he loves us, and he treated my mom like a queen.
He loved her so much.
And she loved him.
I think one of my favorite things was just how sincere and genuine he really was. You could just feel. You could just feel it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you're around Doug Bingham, you feel the presence of the spirit, as we would call it.
You couldn't help but be happy around him. He just was so happy.
All the time.
And so funny. We always teased him that if we could just live in his world for one day, the world would be a better place.
Yeah.
Because he lived with rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, he did. He did. And guys, we'll link you a beautiful obituary that Brandon wrote. We'll just put it in the description below if you want to read it.
I talked to my kids, as you know, they were with him the last few days, and he took each one of my kids on a walk to walk Annabelle, and they don't really remember many of the details, but they remember that he asked how they were doing, and he told them that he loved them. And I thought that described him perfectly.
Yeah.
Justin's sweet mom sent us the most precious picture while we were on our trip of Papa reading stories to our kids at night, something he always does.
Always did it. He did it when we were kids too.
It made us cry even when we found the picture in Vegas.
Yeah.
His mom never has her phone on her, and in fact, she said that. She says, Lindsay, I never have my phone on me. I never take pictures.
Yeah.
It's a picture that we will cherish forever.
Yeah, and Michelle mentions this in her, talk at the funeral, but my dad always used the goofiest voices when he would read stories. It's something my kids talk about, because when Papa was reading them stories, he'd always do these funny accents. And it's always a German accent, like Michelle said. And my kids, the other day, hey, Dad, read us a story. Can you read it like Papa does? And I'm like, I don't have the accents like Papa does. But for some reason, he always just reads stories in such a funny, goofy accent.
They haven't stopped talking about it.
I'm just grateful that, each of my children got a chance to meet their grandfather. They're old enough, maybe with the exception of Ava, to really remember him forever. I think the hard part for me is just knowing that he's not there when I need to call him, or, he'd often leave voicemails, and I guess it felt nice to know that there was someone out there kind of thinking about you. And I know that there's others, but, he had great fatherly intuition for sure. But again, I want this video to be more about a celebration of my dad, what an awesome guy he was. Of course, we're gonna mourn and be sad and grieve, but the reality is I know I'll see him again. I do. It's not a naive statement. It's an actual fact in which I firmly believe. I know I'll see him again.
I believe that he'll be with us, just in a different way.
Yeah. Will I see him in this lifetime? No. But I'll see him the next. I know I will. And I gotta wait 50 years maybe or so till that happens. But he's worth it. So
he lived a life in a way that has made us reflect on our own and want to live better.
Yeah. So guys, it's, I guess, kind of another fitting definition of our life in Holland. Many of you may have lost a loved one or parents, and you can understand this grief and pain. The truth is death will come to all of us, sometimes in unexpected ways, like a situation like this. And again,
too soon.
Too soon. A deviation, if you will, of what you thought your life would be. But to remember that life is beautiful, and Holland is beautiful, even though it's different than what you expected. Again, just immense gratitude for my family, for my sweet mom. She is an incredibly strong human being. Man, she was madly in love with him, which is
everything
great.
To each other.
Yeah.
We felt immense gratitude, even in all the heartbreak and loss, because our Holland is beautiful because Papa was part of it.
Yeah.
Because we got so many wonderful years with him. And our lives were so blessed because he was in it. And like I said, it would be impossible to describe our love for him, but we just feel really grateful.
Guys, I'll miss him forever. It's a void I don't think will actually be filled, because he was my best friend and my greatest champion. And he always had this phrase to me that he would say when I ran track. He would always hold my starting blocks. And then when I got to college, he wasn't allowed to hold my starting blocks because it was against the rules. But in high school, he could always hold my blocks, so when I started, they wouldn't move. And when the gun sounded and I started running, I'd always hear my dad yell out, "Run to win, Juddy!" As I've grown up, and obviously, sports are not a huge part of my life anymore, that phrase still has applicability in really all aspects of my life. Run to win. And I will. I will for my dad. I'm grateful that he left me with such a good example, so I can run to win.
Watching the love that Papa had for Justin as his dad was something special. He had that love for all of his kids, and we're learning how many people have been touched by him.
His funeral was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He had that gift of making everybody feel so loved and so special.
In fact, if you guys want to watch the funeral services, the links in the description below, you're welcome to watch them. Anyway, guys, with that, I want to pay tribute to my dad, Douglas J. Papa Bingham.
We couldn't be prouder of the man he was, and still is.
Thanks, guys, for sticking with us. Thanks for your love, support. We really appreciate it. Thank you for honestly respecting our privacy the last 10 days or so.
Giving us time to grieve.
Yep.
We could spend the next 2 or 3 hours telling you how patient and kind and loving and tender and so many other things that Papa was, but instead we just want to share with you some of our favorite memories with Papa Bingham.
Do you guys need a ride?
We're so excited.
There's some seats in the boat. Jump in.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
How did you feel when Daddy turned you around? What did you think?
It was fun, huh? Yeah.
I couldn't
She was
believe it.
panicking when she was standing on that board.
I am so...
Yeah, but no other 5-year-old I know can do that.
I don't know anybody.
They're so big.
I don't know
Nor do I know very
anybody.
many 5-year-olds that even have the chance.
You know what? You heard that from Papa himself. After 42?
Great.
43 years of marriage, he just told his wife to be careful tubing because
That's all I got.
she's all he's got. Oh, Papa's over here not sure what to think.
Hey, puppy!
I don't know what's more funny. His hat that's folded over and the fact that his life jacket's over his eyes.
It's COVID. I'm covering my mouth. Seat right here. Here we go.
Just park right there, Papa.
Okay, come on, guys. Here we go. Come on, gang.
Where are you going with those fries, Papa?
We're going around here to the side. Come on.
Hey, bud.
Guys,
You ready to move this thing?
I'm ready to move this thing.
All right, well, we're ready to move this thing.
Okay, so...
Is it full?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, all right.
There's still a few more things at the house.
So, yes, Daniel was right. We'll be here all night, which we're excited for,
Well,
Papa. We love
Mom,
you.
It's been a little easier taking it off than it was packing it. I can tell you that.
Landon, who's this stranger that you're sitting with?
Papa! Hi, gang.
You guys look like you're having a fun time over
Oh,
here.
we are. We're watching the race. We're talking all about it.
In the good spot, the bleachers.
Good spot.
Do you know that in the bottom of the ocean where you see mermaids, guess what? They have buried treasure.
Treasure.
And we got one. Do you want to see it?
buried treasure?
We got a buried treasure under the ocean. Now right where the mermaids were, this is what we got. So do you know what these are?
Grandma and Papa, what advice do you have for Turin as he goes into junior high next year? Because you won't be here.
I remember going to junior high and I had no idea what school was all about. So all I can say is work really hard in junior high because now it really starts to count.
Wait, do you have to do schoolwork? I meant like, how does he not get stuck in a locker and stuff like that? Yeah.
First of all, this would be my advice. Whatever your dad tells you to do the opposite. Listen to your mom.
No.
Yeah, it sounds just like a woman, doesn't it? Listen to the mom. Forget my dad.
Junior high can be rough. And you're a natural leader. You're incredibly smart, incredibly athletic, incredibly good looking. I don't know where you came from.
Me neither.
And make sure you tell your dad that.
The mailman.
And the most important thing is choose your friends.
Hey, get him! Hug him! Get him, Ashley, get him!
You look beautiful. Thank you for coming. How are you, honey? Oh, I love you. Thank you. Look how nice your yard looks. Everything's all trimmed up.
You can thank me for that, Papa Dad.
Can I? Justin, look at how nice that. Show the folks at home how nice that yard looks. Right?
They know. They don't need to see it. They know.
Ava May Bingham. Ava May Bingham.
Woo, Ava!
Hazel Ryan Bingham.
Buffy, what's up, dude?
You were waiting on the grass. That's so cute.
I love you guys so much.
I see you got your missionary tag on. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Elder Bingham.
Thank you.
Who wants to jump on the bed?
There it is! Hi guys! How are you? Oh, I love you so much! Yeah!
Go give her hugs, man. Go give her hugs.
Get over here. I'm gonna start over. And you just I love this curly hair. Are you ready? Okay. I love you so much.
Crack screen.
How are you, buddy?
What happened to him?
I love it. I see you. I don't miss you. Thank you. I'm so happy. Thank you. Hello, Miss Lindsay.
Hello.
On the count of three.
No more
1,
missions.
2, 3. Cheers.
Thank you. We love you. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the groceries. Now we won't starve.
And all the snacks.
Bye, little angels. I love you.